So everybody know Eternity from Marvel. That is the 8th cosmos. After the whole Secret Wars shit, that created the 8th cosmos, which is Eternity. So now you know the difference between the 8th cosmos and the 7th. Now let's go to the 6th cosmos. This is where Galactus was born. And this is Galactus' mom right here. She was a technocrat and a scienceer. Everybody there had their own HyperLaab, a tesseract space to contain experiments beyond the limits of what is known. This is a multiverse totally devoted to science, where the very concept was born. It's not a cold place. It knows love, hate, action, and emotion. Now let's go to the 5th cosmos. Now before here is only magic. This is where the first magic was born and the first spell. And who created it? Miradon, who was the Galactus of the 6th cosmos, named Omnimax. But let's go ahead and go down to the next cosmos, which would be the 4th cosmos. And this is where you'll meet up with a motherfucker that look like this. A hope-like being. It's an archetypal being, a form of primal avatar. It's the closest thing to their name in human language. Everything that exists was once a spark in this cosmic mind, and idea. And this is where that plane at. You meet up with the Fantastic Four. They're called the 4-in-1. Then you meet up with the Avengers and the motherfucking X-Men and shit before they was Avengers and the X-Men. Actually, this will be the first Spider-Man right here. You got the first Doctor Doom. There's a Black Panther out there. I can't find him, but he the first one. Mosey ain't even the first one, as they told us in this shit. This is Mosey, the first Black Panther in the 8th cosmos, the current one. The 7th one before the 8th one came out was Bashinga. And this is the first Galactus ever from the 4th cosmos. His name is What Must Be. And all the fake, like the first Avengers and shit, they're called preliminaries too. They barely exist. But after the Masked Rider fought the damn, the What Must Be, he ended up becoming the first Lifebringer Galactus. What can be. This is the 8th iteration Galactus, and he becoming the Lifebringer Galactus. Now, ain't this the same shit as that shit? We're gonna find out why. Now, they spray some shit in the air. Then we meet up with the Pilgrim. She says, everything lives, nothing dies. This I know, for I am the sentience of the 4th cosmos. I am the true believer. I am the Pilgrim, and you are my defenders. Come, join me in my final moment. It is not dying. I am taking a new form to carry my archetypes on the quest to the heart of creation. The energy I shed will form a 5th cosmos of pure magic and send you where you must go. She basically the personification of magic and the 5th cosmos. But there's a price, a loss in care. The magic number is 4. This is where one of the members of the Defenders had to stay there and become an archetype herself. Cloud. So let's go to the next cosmos, where you see these motherfuckers fighting. And this the 3rd cosmos. The 3rd cosmos was the first to be born from the multiversal cycle, the first rebirth after cosmic all-death. We're so far back that science and magic haven't been invented yet. Even narrative is just a twinkle in a future narrative's eye. The drama above us is not a battle between good and evil, but between is and is not. Creation versus negation. Existence versus nothingness. In other words, we're front row seats, friends, for the cosmic Donnybrook that began them all. Lifebringer 1, the 1st century. Yeah, that century that you're thinking of in Marvel. And Myth against Antial, the primal void. Yeah, his power that he got. That shit was his own entity. The first evil shit ever. I mean, that isn't. Tia Galactus' mom was like, I'm trying to get a readout, but my science suit won't. Play ball. It's saying we don't exist. Dr. Strange said, I expect the 3rd cosmos to be too basic, a reality for your instruments, Tia, or even for our human senses. Are we breathing oxygen, for instance, or some primal air? Is that battle 100 yards or 1,000 light years away, or both? If we stay here too long, I fear we'll lose the very concept of time. As you see this dude right here, right? He like basically a human right now. And he said, look, I've been here for an hour, but that hour been my whole life. As you see what happens if your ass out there and your ass ain't got no protection and shit. So if you use powers here like magic or science, that shit will kill the Lifebringer because he is where everything comes from at this point in the the cosmos. That shit was draining the damn Lifebringer one and helping the anti-all. If the primal absence defeats the drive to exist, our home universes and every other place we've seen on this journey will never exist. This where eternity pop up. She tell you, the universe itself, even I, am merely one cell of a higher multiversal eternity, part of a cosmic lineage stretching back to the first conflict, this first story. All of I am, all this I am, and all this we are. She's saying she's a piece of the Lifebringer. So the masked rider put his damn eternity mask on, which is a piece of eternity, and that shit make you the same. It put you on the same playing field as whoever that you're that you're around. And if you are as soon as somebody strong get into your distance, that motherfucker automatically gets as strong as the person that's in distance of that motherfucker. So he get as strong as the anti-all, but he's getting his ass full. So the damn defenders used the first spell that they used on Meridon to beat his ass to get to the the fourth dimension. That shit gave, instead of draining him, it gave him all the power of everything that's finna happen from the 5th cosmos to the 6th cosmos to restore his ass as he make a big sword and destroy this motherfucker. The dragons fractured like a hologram, perhaps a piece for every piece of this multiverse and every multiverse to come. And perhaps when we fight against the great nothing in our own times, we fight back the anti-all as well. And if you read current Venom, you know that if Venom get with Eddie right now, he's going to become the anti-all because he said it. That's what's going on. It's like multiple pieces going everywhere, from Oblivion to Death, all that shit. They're all tied back to his ass, which he's tied to the one below all. But we ain't done yet. We gotta keep going, right? So let's go with Loki as we use this protection to go past eternity and go outside the dark and go outside space and time. Did this moment already happen? Is it happening now, or will it happen then? In a place where without distance or duration, we're picking up speed. Let's get to the second cosmos and the first. So in the beginning, right, our creators had no collective name. They were simply the earliest creations of the earliest cosmos, and they worshiped their creator. What else was there to do? With the answer to that question came the first cracks in that first firmament. A strata of the earliest beings took a vibrant color, defining their microchromatic fellows, a rainbow of rebel angels with rebellious, unsanctioned desires. They became the Celestials. Those who wished to crush them became the aspirants, the great tyrants of the status quo. The Celestial Rebellion became a celestial war, change versus stagnation, evolution versus status, tomorrow versus yesterday. One of them used this big ass gun, right, and shot that bitch off. A war that split the first firmament asunder to create the second cosmos. A multiverse of possibility where each what if could become its own what is. But infinite possibility unchecked creates infinite instability. A super formless chaos. The new creation had to be maintained. So the Celestials created servitors for the task, well suited to infinite omega beings, life force without the limit. The Beyonders is what they created. Creation with the raw power if it became necessary to destroy even their creators. The ultimate failsafe in case of another celestial war. Despite the maintenance, the second cosmos would be a short-lived handful of millennia. For its only constant was the new, and thus its multiversal personification was too eager to experience for the exciting new sensation of all death. Followed by rebirth, a new evolution to a cosmos that had learned the lessons of being and non-being, which was the third, and thus could form the earliest sparks of narration. The Celestial observed from within the new cosmos while we continue maintenance from here. Nothing dies while we remains. Here is in the remains of the second cosmos, known all that is, and beyond. This is the second cosmos, and they from the beyond. Book readings if you want to know more. Defenders 1, Issue 2, Issue 3, Issue 4 Defenders, Issue 5. Then you want to go read Defenders Beyond Issue 1 and Defenders Beyond Issue 2, and then go forward if you want to know more. Like in Issue 3 with that white hot room. This is the personification of the first firmament, and this is when the multiverses assemble. Let me know if you want a part 2.